wanted to adopt. I have a blood disease, and my blood disease means that I cannot carry a pregnancy to term. I wanted a daughter. I always wanted to be a mom, and that was the only way I was going to be a mom. Back in 1979, it was very difficult to find anybody who would work with single parents because people were still focusing on two-parent couples. So I finally found an agency, which was Crossroads in Minnesota, that would work with single-parent families, and they gave me information about the countries where single parents were acceptable. And the two countries at that time that would work with single parents, only single women, not all men, were India and Korea. One of the reasons I chose India was that they said adopting India, two things. One, there were more girls available than boys, and I knew I wanted a girl. And it would take about 3 months to get paperwork done. And if the adoption was take longer than that 3 months, well, it took 1 entire year to get the paperwork done because you have to deal with the Embassy of India, and the Embassy of India that I was in, because their location I was in Dallas, Texas at the time. The embassy was actually in Chicago. That was sort of a parallel thing that was going on. And then I had to have an adoption agency in Dallas who represented me, so I had to find an adoption agency, which was for social services. They had to come out and do a home study. They had to get recommendations from, people I worked with and my church and people who knew me, and they had to get copies of my bank statements and my payroll, my salary and all that information. And they put the package together and represented me in the adoption process with the orphanage in India. And I guess the hardest part of all of it was after I had been working with Crossroads, which was the adoption agency in Minnesota, a year and a half, and had paid them all their fees. I got a letter from the orphanage in India saying they were no longer working with that adoption agency and that they were going to be working with another adoption agency, and that if I wanted to continue their process, I had to pay new fees and resubmit all my paperwork to the new agency. And that was the point at which I just about gave up. But a friend told me that I had gone that far and I should try the new agency. And 3 months later, you were home. You were supposed to be arriving on a flight when you were 6 weeks old. I went to the airport with a friend, and I sat there for 6 hours, and the plane came. I'm going to start crying. The plane came, and everybody got off, including the pilot and the stewardesses, and they said, no, there's no baby on the plane, and nobody can tell me where you were, and nobody can tell me why you weren't on the plane, and I was pretty hysterical, and it was late at night, and I couldn't call anybody till the next morning, so the next morning I called the adoption agency, and they tracked it down, and they found out that they had known when the plane got to London, which was about 8 hours before I headed to the airport, that you weren't on the plane, but for some reason, they had neglected to notify me. Nobody had told me that you were going to be on the next plane. I wasn't at the airport when it arrived. I had gone to see Kramer versus Kramer. I'll never forget that. I was coming home from the movie, and I walked in the door, and the phone rang, and this voice said, is this Sharon? And I said, yes. And he said, well, I'm, I don't know his name. I'm at the airport, and I have your daughter with me. And I said, what airport? Are you in New York? And she said, no, I'm in Dallas. So my friend Aileen Edgy was on the movie with me. She knew I was having a tough time, and she drove me to the airport. And I still, she has a picture of me where all you see is like the back of my lab coat, because I was doing clinic that day, the back of my lab coat as I was running through the airport.